There are strange things out there that seem to have no explanation. Sometimes they are conjured up by the darkest corners of our subconscious, but on occasion they dwell beyond the confines of our imagination. They may come from another realm, or out of the sky, or from beyond the grave. Once they set foot into our world, the line between dreams and reality becomes unclear. It's our job to investigate these reports and compile the Virginia Paranormal Case Files.
Got the condo. Always felt kind of dark and depressing in here. Things immediately started breaking. The water heater went out. Not once, but now twice. Still hasn't managed to fix it. The dishwasher has thrown up. The dryer has stopped working. When I'm in here, I feel this heavy, dark presence. I felt hands on me. I felt hands on my head. Horrible, horrible images keep coming into mind while I'm here. When I'm gone, I'm usually fine. I bought a little quart of milk. I put it in the refrigerator. I used it, made some tomato soup. The next day, I pulled it out to freshen up the tomato soup, and it came out as yogurt. Cockroaches are showing up in a house that has been treated twice with that lovely stuff that's supposed to stop them from breeding, which is my number one fear, right above clowns and liberals. If I didn't have a sense of humor, I would have lost my mind with all this. When I'm trying to sleep, it's standing in the corner of the bedroom. It's just a dark mass. No real shape, but you can tell something is there. I just feel it eyeballing me. But there's no eyes. It's not quite mist. It's just a mass. Almost like a TV reflection. The fireplace, I cleaned up most of what was done to it, but the, what do you call it? Flume? The flap inside?
Yeah, I think it is the flume. I think so.
The flute, whatever it is, no reason for it.
The thing that lets the smoke go out.
Spontaneously closed. Landlord checked it out. Absolutely no reason for it. I had it in the proper position. I've checked it multiple times. It still keeps happening. I've given up on using the fireplace. Electrical problems everywhere. Even my phone has started to shock me, which resulted, well, it's already broken now, as you can see, as it shocked me and I dropped it and broke the screen because it shocked my ear. It's overwhelming to be in here sometimes. I mean, when I emailed you, I was in tears and this close to checking myself into the mental hospital.
Any sounds?
It's so hard to tell with the neighbors around here.
Right.
I constantly,
Another apartment or something.
I constantly hear something talking at me, but.
Any strange odors?
Oh God, I came in the other day and it smelled like rotten eggs. I came back in and I looked everywhere for the smell. It's not the trash. Everything's electric in here. Nothing runs on gas. It's a Virginia code. That's what I was told. There's no gas. And just the strong, overwhelming smell of rotten eggs. It was just coming from the dead center of the little dinette area back there.
When you typically leave here, does it seem better? When you're typically out of the car?
Yeah, it seems to just lift almost instantly. By the time I get to my car, it's like I'm a whole new person. The energy in here is, I can't even explain it. And I've dealt with things in the past, and this thing, it feels like it was sent to get me. I mean, it feels like I'm being stalked.
Right.
It feels like I'm being attacked. I mean, like purposefully, like this thing is just hell-bent on killing me. There's no other short way to explain it. It just feels like it wants me dead, come hell or high water, by any means necessary.
Would you say there's one particular area of the house that seems heavier or seems a little more uncomfortable than another area?
The kitchen gets bad, which is a shame because I love to cook.
Right.
And the bedroom when I'm trying to sleep. That one corner by the TV, even when I put the lamp there, it didn't care. It just didn't care. The depression has just become absolutely crippling, and I'm not a depressed person. I mean, the thoughts and the images that come in my head are just, they're not me. They've never been me, and I have no reason for those thoughts. I just don't know how else to explain it.
So like I said, we'll just go all along, and what we're going to do is we're going to compare both of these. So Megan, you have the basic EMF detector and a K2 meter.
Yep.
And Will has the Mel meter. So just to compare the two readings to make sure one's not malfunctioning.
Is it okay to go everywhere?
Knock yourself out here, Hurt.
Okay. Oh. Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Hello? Somebody in here with us? Stop talking.
That was significant.
Mm-hmm. Can you light up to yellow again? Almost. Thank you. Definitely something in here.
Yeah, and it shouldn't pick that up from another EMF detector.
No, and it shouldn't be this one because this one's not lighting up at all.
Right.
That's stronger than this one, and this is still going off. So this room's significant. This whole place is this thing is going off like crazy. Where's the most activity in this room? House.
I don't know. See if I'll tell you, but see if you kind of feel anything in a certain room, or a certain area.
There.
The room we just came out of?
Mm-hmm. Not really like strong, but a little bit.
Yeah?
Just because I saw this, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and then once you see that, you start wondering, like, what could be here causing that to go
Yeah.
off? Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it goes off in other places, though.
This has been steady, hasn't jumped up past 0.3 the whole time.
Yeah, this hasn't done anything either.
This is off limits. Yeah.
So we had the team walk through after I went in and interviewed the client and found out where the hot spots were and what the activity was. And we want to get some of their reactions right now as to what areas perhaps gave off any kind of vibe.
So when I walked through the house, I initially felt like there was more of a strange feeling toward the back of the apartment than there was the front. Not so much in the living room, but in the back bedrooms in particular. I feel like maybe there's been some activity back there. She's probably been laying in bed at night and heard footsteps through the rest of the house. She may have even seen some sort of a reflection of something in the TV, the big TV that's sitting there in the master bedroom. But when I walked into the utility room, I guess it is, toward the front of the apartment that leads off of the kitchen, there was a terrible smell in there. It was like death in there. It was a terrible smell. I don't know whether that's something that could be coming from plumbing or whether there's something else that looked like a very clean utility room. No other real reason why there would be such a terrible smell there. But I do feel like whatever is here is wandering. It wanders through the place. It's not here right now. But it does come in here every so often and kind of walk around, move things around, scare her, and then moves on.
When I walked through the front door, I got a feeling of something, but I couldn't really place what it was I was feeling. So I continued through the living room to the kitchen area, and something did draw me to that washroom. But I didn't smell anything, but I was drawn into that washroom. As I came out, I had a little bit of some readings, some spikes a little bit, and then I would continue through. Something drew me to the right corner of the room where there's just a couch. Again, I didn't have any sense of any heaviness or anything like that. It's just a feeling. As I walked down the hallway, my more experience was as I went to turn into the doorway of the first small bedroom on the left, I felt a weird feeling come over me and like a dizziness right here, and then I walked past that. I didn't get anything in the bedroom, the larger bedroom, the master bedroom, that I felt like was significant as to the feeling I got in that bedroom to the left.
Well, using the EMF detector, it was especially in that particular room that she was talking about. It spiked all the way up to yellow and orange. And when I talked to it, it still was actually communicating with you. Something was in there. And it was just in the middle of that room. It wasn't so much in the back bedroom. It was more towards you going back towards the back of the house.
Yeah.
Or the apartment.
In that second little bedroom, the empty one?
I got cold, and it was 71 degrees in there. I had goosebumps. I wasn't scared, just goosebumps. I'm like, something's happening.
Yeah.
I walked through the whole house using this. It never spiked above 0.3. Even when I got close to the TV and any electronics, it never went up past 0.3. At the same time that her reader was going off, reaching yellow, this never went past anything. The temperature never dropped. It stayed all exactly the same. Walking into that side room, I didn't feel anything as I was walking around, but I can say that she definitely had goosebumps, and whatever she felt was absolutely genuine. When we walked into the main bedroom, I didn't feel anything in there until I got to the closet. Her closet seemed kind of off. This never changed temperature. It never went above anything, but that was the only place that I had a weird feeling was in her closet.
All right, so what's
Wait, I don't
interesting
know if I went there.
is with her reports, with what she said, they didn't really align with what a lot of the people felt in this house at all. But one thing was the smell. She did mention this smell when I asked her in the interview. She said she'd come home and it would smell like rotten eggs in here. Now, the areas that she mentioned that seemed to be the heaviest were the kitchen and the master bedroom. And she mentioned in the back corner of the master bedroom by the TV, she would see this dark shadow that appears. And she feels that this is something that's been put on her, something that's been sent after her, perhaps through a spell, perhaps through some kind of witchcraft. And it's been causing little things. And when I thought about this, when she told me about the things, it was affecting her water heater. It was affecting her kitchen appliances. It was affecting her thermostat. Basically things that keep her comfortable. It wasn't just normal random electronics. It was like the heat. It was like the hot water, like things that if you're living without these things, you're very uncomfortable. And then her darkest fears. They came in here and they sprayed for cockroaches. And immediately after, cockroaches all over the place. So it's to the point where she thinks something was put on her that's basically driving her crazy. We have here, Tanya got a hold of the PSB 11, and this is an interesting spirit box. It really is, where you can run 2 channels at once, and you can put one on AM, one on FM. So when you set this up, when you go in there, if you push this button here, you'll see that it's blue, it's on AM, okay? And that's the sweep rate. So right here we can adjust that sweep rate, probably around 200 is good. And then sweep forward. Okay, now we can adjust the sweep rate on this, probably about the same, or you can do faster, slower. You can sweep reverse. So what happens if you sweep reverse on one, forward on the other, you get AM and FM at the same time.
They cancel each other out.
No, because one is AM, one is FM. And then what's cool about it is you got the temperature down here. So if there's any temperature fluctuation, it starts out on 0. If it goes up, it'll go to +1, +2, or down 1, down 2, if it's going down that degrees. When it goes up or changes, it will beep. So once it beeps, you just push the temperature reset, it'll take you back to 0.
Okay. So, where was the power button?
Right here.
Okay.
Yep, so on,
Okay, slide switch.
Then you're gonna have to reset everything.
Hit this
AM,
There you go.
sweep rate, put it
Sweep
at 200, sweep rate 200.
And then hit this button
yep,
to scan
sweep
forward.
and that
This
button
one,
sweep forward or reverse,
forward
whatever
or
you choose to
reverse.
do.
Okay,
Yep.
I got it.
All right, so let's give that a try and see what kind of results we get with it. It'd be an
Okay.
interesting experiment with that for the
Do
first
we have
time.
a digital voice recorder? My name is Linda.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Tanya.
And we just want to communicate with you and find out why you're here. We don't mean you any harm. Can you try telling us your name?
Jack.
Jack?
Jack.
What do you think?
It sounded like Jack.
It sound like that. Is the temperature going up again? It might be that it's just acclimating to the inside air. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Might be.
Can you try saying your name one more time? Not sure we really understood it.
Why are you here?
Can you tell us your name again? We were not quite sure what we heard.
So if you're male, could you light that up as far as you can get it to go? Up to red if you could?
I know for a fact that you can do it farther than that. Come on.
Can you touch
I know
it?
you can. You got this. Do it to yellow.
If you touch it, we'll know that you are a male. Alright, we've come in this room to see if we could speak with you or if you'd be willing to speak with us in this room. And our little gadgets here on the floor, these are our little our recorders, and this device right here you can speak to. It's not going to hurt you. And if we'd like to start, my name is Tanya.
I'm Megan.
I'm Linda.
And we're just not going to cause you any harm. We're just curious if you'd like to talk with us and tell us possibly why you're here. So if you could tell us your name.
Light this up, buddy.
Temperature gauge. Oh, that was a weird noise.
That was weird.
It's like a pterodactyl.
Are you a child? What was that?
I don't know. Anybody understand that?
There we go. So we know you're in the room with us. Why won't you talk with us? We'd really like to hear from you. Is there anything you'd like us to know?
Just a thought, but if it is a kid, it might not know how to work that thing, how to speak through that. What is that?
I don't know. Well, could you just speak at all? And possibly we could pick you up through the speaker. You can just get near this device and just talk. We'd be willing to listen.
Whoever made my arm cold, can you make it cold again? Can you make it cold? Oh.
Basically yours.
Feel my arm.
Is your arm cold? You just jump or
There's
something,
goosebumps.
reach out and touch it.
It went, no, just coldness went through my body.
I don't know if it's just me or
I'm not cold at all.
me either.
Like, not even a little bit.
You're not shivering, but there's definitely goosebumps. Again. Arms are cold.
So when we were in there, we had a couple of what might be slight responses. Some things that seemed to be coming through at the very beginning. It was the word Jack when we were asking about its name. But I'm not real sure that there was anything very definitive. And we almost felt like whatever it was might not want to talk to us or might have been holding back for some reason. So we're kind of curious about sending in a couple of guys and seeing if they have a better response or better results than us women did. And
They're toying with us.
it was kind of toying with us. Yeah. We
Playing with the lights.
would, yeah, on the K2 meter it would
Yeah.
fluctuate every so often, but
In the small dark room,
yeah.
Yeah, not her bedroom.
not the
Yeah.
master bedroom.
Yeah.
More in the small room. We got more
I got
reaction
cold
in the
again.
small.
That's twice
She
now.
did.
And
She-
it made
you had
me
a
jump
cold
though. It was
feeling.
weird. It went all the way from my arms all the way down to my feet.
Yeah, and then right afterward, it sounded like something said very clearly, "It's cold,"
It's cold.
or "That's cold," through the spirit box.
Yeah, like somebody made me
So-
cold. Say, yeah, that's cold,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but that was the only
You
thing
know,
that was
yeah,
really
like
trying.
you jump.
So we're going back to the master bedroom. We're going to set up the REM pod and see what happens with that. See if we can get anything to come near it. get it to manipulate it. And we're also going to try the other spirit box, see if we get any responses, maybe an EVP session. I think what we'll do to start off is just set this thing on the bed. Now, this REM pod, the way it works is if anything comes in, oh, let me turn on the temperature as well. Okay. If anything comes in proximity of it, the lights will light up. And as it gets closer, the closer it is, the tone will change, lights will come on. Also the temperature, if there's any temperature changes, it'll let us know. Alright, we'll start off by saying our names. I'm Jeff.
I'm Will.
I'm Linda.
And we don't mean to impose by any means. I'm not sure if you know the reason that we're here. We're trying to find out some answers. We want to know who is here with this woman. Who is here that seems to make things uncomfortable for her? Why you're here? Could you start by letting us know that you are here? We have this device set up on the bed, and if you come near it, it will not hurt you. It doesn't give off any shocks or anything like that. It just simply lights up. So if you come near it, it may light up and let us know that you're here. Can you see if that works for us, please? We're trying to determine right now what you are capable of doing. The woman that lives here, she believes that you're capable of manipulating her electricity and some of her electronic devices, which is why I have this device here to see if that is true. Either way, we do believe her, but we want to know if you're willing to make that gesture to just let us know that you're here.
Let's try turning those lights out over the vanity as well,
Okay.
since she seems to think it's... Yeah.
Oh, we got a temperature change. All right. Whatever you just did right there was indeed making this device respond. If you're a male, can you do that again? If you're a female, can you do that? All right.
Just a note, on the PSP-11, the temperature thing was constantly going off in here.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'm getting from this is that you are a female, but I just want to clarify, because I always want to ask, of course, clarifying questions just to make sure we're getting proper responses. Once again, I'm going to ask, if you're a male, can you do what you just did to make that device respond? I'm going to assume that you're a female. If that's accurate, can you make that device respond again? Can you make it beep? All right, thank you. Could you make it stop? If you are the dark mass, the dark figure that's seen in this corner by the TV, or anywhere in this room, if you're that dark mass that she's referring to, can you make that beep for us, please? If you are not that dark mass, Could you make that beep for us?
Voices. What is that?
It's the temperature.
Why is it doing that?
Let me ask you this. If you have seen that dark mass, can you make this beep just like you did? If you have not seen that dark mass, can you make this beep? Sound from out the window. Car. Hey, no response on that. All right, thank you. Does there seem to be any correspondence on there where this is coming on at a certain time, every certain so many minutes? On the numbers on the camera?
I don't know, but I can start.
Would you like for me to place this next to it so you can visually see?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
If there is anyone in here, I'm just going to place this on the bed. What this will do is it'll allow Jeff to be able to see a temperature change.
See, that's not changing now.
Mm-mm.
Oh, there it goes. Still not a significant. I'm going to ask you again. If you're a female, just to confirm, because I want to make sure that this device here is not just giving us false readings. If you're a female, can you make that alarm sound for us again? Thank you. See, that's just a random temperature fluctuation right there.
But is the temperature fluctuating? It's not.
Well,
is
that's
it?
what that would mean.
No, I mean on the Gauss meter, on the Mel meter.
No.
It's not. That's what was happening upstairs in Matthews.
Yeah, see, I don't get that.
Well, it's either one of two things. Either we're dealing with a piece of equipment that's specifically made for ghost hunters and it's been created and programmed and manipulated so that it goes off randomly to freak people out, or there's something that's actually messing with the sensor, right?
See, I could I could go with that, yes, like it is invented for ghost hunting, paranormal investigation per se, but my only question would be, of course, it hasn't happened all the time. We've taken this on quite a few investigations now, and it doesn't happen every investigation.
Right. That's true.
So I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. The only thing I can think is that if it is picking up a temperature change, that temperature change has to be so concentrated that it's only affecting this device and not something that's right next to it.
Right. Which
That's
I'm
the
not
only
sure
thing.
how that could happen.
But it is interesting because one of the things she describes, of course, are temperature changes within the house. It'll be really hot, it'll be really cold, and it'll fluctuate just back and forth. One of the things that has to do with comfort that something here seems to be affecting. It was interesting using the REM pod in here because one thing I can say, we were kind of debating whether this being a tool that is created specifically for paranormal investigation, is it sometimes given false readings. What was interesting was the question I asked, are you a female? Because I asked that clarifying question 3 times. I believe I asked it the first time, I said, are you male? Manipulate the device, are you female? It came on. Then I asked again, are you male? Nothing. Female, it came on. And then I waited later on, after asking all these other questions, and just asked, are you a female? Instead of asking, are you a male first? And once again, it lit up almost on cue to that. So that was kind of one thing that I found interesting. And I was trying to determine, through responses from the REM pod, if that's possible, if this woman that seemed to be talking to us was the dark mass that's seen in this room, or has even seen this dark mass that's in the room. And I wasn't able to get positive confirmation on that. Perhaps this is a different spirit. Perhaps it was just coincidence with when the temperature was fluctuating in the room.
Right, and the whole time I've been holding the millimeter, I've seen the temperature fluctuate within 2 degrees at the most, which could easily indicate how that's going. But like we talked about when we first came in, we just had on the vanity lights. That's why it was reading at 73. When we cut off the lights, it went down to 72, and since we've turned on this light that's closer to the millimeter, it's gone up to 74. So that could kind of bring up how that's been going off. However, I'm not convinced unless I can see the motion actually going off, because those 1 or 2 temperature degrees happens normally. We are, like Jeff said, on the 2nd floor, heat rises. We've cut lights on and off. The temperature, of course, has changed. There's 3 people in a small room. Of course, the temperature would change, and it's cold outside. As he was asking, are you male or female? It did go off 3 times when he asked specifically female, and it went off when we didn't ask a question. Maybe that's a spirit saying, hey, I'm still here, you know, ask me another question. Or it's just, as he said, it's just malfunction. We were using the PSB-11 as it fluctuates between FM and AM. We were listening for anything that we could hear. He asked a few questions. We didn't hear anything audibly that would indicate a intelligent answer to it. Even with my own bias of me knowing that what we may be talking to is a female, we never heard a female voice come across when he asked that question.
Got together in this room to see if we could speak with anyone who might be in here with us. My name is Tanya.
Megan?
And Will?
No. No. Say Will.
We'd just like to speak with you. Our devices that we have placed around the bed here will not harm you. You can reach out and touch any device, this REM pod right here. You can touch it and the lights will turn different colors. That will let us know that you're in the room. You can get close to this device and you can speak through it and answer our questions if you like. First question would be, if you're in the room with us right now, could you make this REM pod light up with a different color than red? Make one of the other colored lights light up. If you come near it, it will light up. How are you? So you're in the room with us. Thank you for doing that. So, if you're in the room with us right now, you just touched the REM pod and we appreciate that. If you could you please tell us your name? You can speak through this device on the bed right here that's lighting up. It will not harm you. No.
Why not?
So, temperature gauge.
Yep.
Hello. How are
Hey.
you? Okay, it's great that you did that. We really appreciate that. So we're aware that you're in the room now. Did you reach out and touch that again if you're a female and you're trying to communicate with us? The homeowner here said she's just moved in and from time to time she sees you moving around. Okay, so you're near the REM pod. Could you make one of those lights go off? One of the color lights go off so we know you're right there and you're with us in this room. So, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So you want to talk with us, so you can talk through the speaker that's on this device to the right, and we can hear what possibly you're trying to tell us. Is there something you want us to know?
What is the name of the woman that lives here?
If you want us to leave, would you make that REM pod light up in the center of the bed? Make one of the lights go off.
I didn't feel anything.
I got a cold chill in the same area right here.
I cold in my arms again.
Uh-huh. So why do you want us to leave? We will leave. We will end this session and leave. If you would just tell us your name through the speaker device to the right of the REM pod. So to make myself clear, you do not want us in this room. You would like us to leave. Would you light up the device on the bed again so we have a clear understanding of what you want?
I think it wants us to leave so it can keep messing with her.
I'm sure you have the energy to light up that device one more time. Could you reach out and touch it one more time? You want us to leave?
Do you want all of us to leave? Do you want a few of us to leave?
Well, I'd like to say it was nice. Which few would you like to leave? Would you like the two females to leave? I'm cold on my arms.
I'm freezing.
I don't feel anything.
My legs are cold.
Would you like us two females to leave? And you would like only the male to stay in the room. Would you like that up again?
I felt like I needed to go away and get off that bed.
No, I immediately got a chill.
No, I feel like I'm in the wall. Like I need to go over here.
So
That
you,
was weird.
you want us to exit? You want to stay in here and see if we can get any communication?
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, so it is just me, Will. So my name is Will. Whoa. Hi, Will. This is me, Will. Come on in, Jeff. So Jeff, I would like to catch you up on what just happened.
Yeah. I saw everybody come running out.
So, I've heard my name a few times on this. As I just greeted myself, Will, every time I say Will, that goes off. Or this says Will. And I've recorded it a few times. And we asked, would you like the females to leave the room, and it lit up. And they felt a surge of energy, but I did not.
What lit up? The thermometer?
That turned green.
That's interesting.
It wasn't doing that with us before. And the most interesting thing is we were asking a bunch of questions. That was turning green. Everything was fine. But then we asked one question. I don't remember what it was. But it turned green, and all three of us at the same time felt chills.
Really?
That's the only time I felt anything.
This is weird. It's almost...
That was the light turning green.
What light?
The
Was that
RN
me?
machine? Maybe when you put your hand on the bed.
No, I don't.
Okay, so I would like to ask you a few questions. Again, my name is Will. So I would like to communicate with you. If you are a male, please make that light turn green. If you are a female, please make that light turn green.
That's impressive.
Please turn the light off. Thank you. Now, using this right here, you can be able to talk to us. So I would like to know, ma'am, what is your name? You're going to have to speak up. I can't hear you. The current homeowner that is here, do you want her to leave? If you do, please turn on that light, make it green. Are you still here? If you are, make that light turn green.
If you know the source of the smell.
That's proximity too.
Yeah.
Ask if there's a Peggy. Oh,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about that. The proximity meter wasn't going off very often.
Right.
Huh.
That's steady going on. Okay. So there's got to be.
I mean, there's nothing near it. There's nothing near it.
So I was just in here with Megan and Tanya, and we were asking a few questions, similar to the questions that Jeff, Linda, and I were asking earlier. We were asking, is this male, is this female? Whoever's with us, please let us know. When we would ask female, the light would go off. The light would turn green. We were also using the 38, the SB11.
The SB11.
We were also using the SB11, flipping through channels. Whenever that green light would go on, we would hear some sort of chatter on the SB11. It got to a point to where we would ask questions and it would turn green after we asked the question. It wouldn't turn green necessarily if we just stayed in silence. However, there was one question that we asked, and I'm not entirely sure what that question was, but that light turned green, the SBS11 went off and was making a bunch of noise, and at the same time, all three of us in the room, standing in separate corners of the room, all got chills on our arms, and that was the first time that I've felt something since I've been here. At that point, we were very intrigued, started asking more questions, and it died down a little bit, and then a few moments passed, we started asking more questions. and it started turning green again. Got to the point to where Megan felt uncomfortable being on the bed and moved off the bed because she felt like she wasn't welcome in this room. So then we asked, do you want the females in the room to leave? And the light went on, and at that point they left. I sat on the bed and I said, my name is Will, and immediately the SB11, I clearly heard Will come out of it. I said Will again, I believe when Jeff walked in, it sounded like it said my name again as well.
Right.
And it was responding intelligently to the questions I was asking, making the light turn green. It wouldn't turn green on its own without any prompt, which leads me to believe either, like we said before, either that machine is designed for paranormal investigating to make it seem like you're getting something, or what we have here truly is an intelligent haunting that can respond to the questions, and that in this room with us tonight there was a female spirit.
Sucked me dry. I was cold. I was freezing. It felt like it stuck my hand out of the sweater that I was wearing. The wind, like, it was cold. I had been freezing the whole time you were in there. And it's not cold in here. It's 72 degrees.
And you're sitting by the fire.
And it was in by the
She
fire.
was almost in it.
I was almost, but I mean, I would jump. It was cold.
Right.
And that's, she said it sucks the life out of you or something.
Yeah. Now, the fireplace is interesting too. Did you hear about the fireplace?
No?
The is it the loo?
Oh,
The flue?
The flu.
Yeah. The loo's the bathroom, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The flue.
In England.
The flue seems to close. Like when it's open, there will be something blocking the smoke from going up the chimney, and that's why there's all those burn marks right there.
to make sure it didn't move.
No, but that's the weirdest thing I've ever felt. I mean, all the investigations we have done, that has never happened.
Saying that she smelled rotten eggs coming from this area.
Yeah, I opened the door, and the minute that I stepped into that room was when I smelled it.
Oh, whole nother room back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a light switch too. You wanna tell them about the voice from a minute ago?
Some lights back
There's-
here. There's a light switch.
There's a little bit of a lingering smell, but it's not as bad as it was.
Just normal.
I mean,
Don't you smell that? It's not as strong as it was when I was in here.
I really don't.
You
I
don't?
don't. No.
You don't smell anything?
I smell laundry detergent.
No, this is not laundry detergent.
Yeah, but at that point,
I'm trying to just. I mean, my sinuses aren't always the best with smelling stuff. We're just trying to pinpoint the source of what this could be.
Everything looks fairly clean, though. I mean,
I was wrapped up. I was wrapped up.
I don't smell anything that's like rotten eggs, which is interesting because it's like it's kind of there and then gone.
She said that happened to her.
And you don't smell it right now, like you said, right?
I feel like I smell a little bit of a lingering odor, but not like it was.
Right.
It was much more pungent, much stronger, and it was terrible. It wasn't like a laundry smell. It wasn't like just an odd, fabric softener. I mean, here's our fabric softeners. Those things smell wonderful. You know what I mean? That's the only.
Yeah, the soap smells equally good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know. But one thing I'll draw your attention to over here. See this sage right here?
Oh yeah.
This she was burning it and it went out. Just something
Burned itself out.
she was trying to do, cleanse the house,
Oh.
and the sage just went out.
Huh. Strange. Should we give him the REM pod or?
Yeah, we can put the REM pod in here. I don't see why not.
We are in the laundry room.
I'm Jeff,
I'm MEEGAN.
I'm Will.
and we'd like to know the source of the foul odor that seems to manifest in this room. Something that smells like rotten eggs. Can you make it stink for us right now?
Sorry. Just keep thinking of a whole bunch of different things that make that happen.
I'm sorry. Okay. It's only when I look at your face that I laugh. Because I know that's what you're thinking. Anyway, go for it, Spirit. Make it happen.
If it's too hard to make a smell like you were doing before, please make that light from red to green. It's very simple. All you have to do is just come up next to it and it'll change green. So do exactly what I just did. Make it turn green. If there is anyone else here with us, you don't necessarily have to make that light turn green. You can do anything. You can make a noise in here. You can talk into any one of our voice recorders where we can hear your voice. Just let us know that you're here.
While we didn't get an abundance of evidence from this investigation, the evidence that we did get was very thought-provoking. Now, we have a couple of clips that came from the spirit box, and these were clips that made it seem like whatever that was there wanted to speak at the times that the investigators were speaking, as opposed to in between the investigators' questions. And that's what we have here is two clips to start out with. The first one is one that came after the investigators started asking, can you tell us if you're male or female? Are you a male? Are you a boy? And the first clip answers that question. Now, it's a little bit hard to hear because, like I say, the investigator is speaking at the time that the clip starts coming through. But in the background, there's a male voice that comes through and it says, yes, I'm a boy. So kind of strange that these things seem to want to talk when we're talking. The second one is the same way. However, this wasn't a man's voice, an adult male voice that came through. This time it seemed like a child's voice. And it wasn't really in response to any questions. It was just kind of strange that it came out of nowhere, particularly because children's voices are not often heard on the radio, at least not as loud and clear as this one came through.
Did something happen to you in this apartment?
Now you can hear it at the very end there. While she's still talking, you hear this voice that comes through, a child's voice, and it says either lady or baby. I couldn't quite figure out which. I'm not sure whether it was saying lady, referring to one of the investigators that was there, or baby as trying to say who I am, because the voice sounds like it's coming from maybe a 3-year-old. Like I say, quite a fascinating bit of evidence there. Now, we did get another one here that is, again, somewhat thought-provoking, a little bit strange, because of the noises that come through. Now, prior to this, our investigator MEEGAN had been saying that she was getting very cold. One of her arms was getting extremely cold, and none of the investigators in the room felt cold at all except for her. So she was asking questions like, are you the one that's making me cold? Why are you making me cold? And this is what came through. So you could hear a very strange noise that came through. Then there was a second noise that was different from the first, but again, still very strange. Neither of these sounds seemed to have come from a radio station. But the third sound that came through was obviously a voice, and it either said it's cold or head cold. So again, it seemed like it was referring to something that the investigator was asking about, but because of these strange noises that came just prior to it, once I think I mentioned sounded like a pterodactyl, just kind of an odd mixture of responses. Now, we did get EVPs. Now, these are not actually Class A EVPs. They were Class C. So I didn't feel that it was necessary to include them. You could hear a voice. It sounded like a female's voice, but you couldn't tell what it was saying, and we couldn't be positive that it wasn't somebody else because of the fact that this was an apartment. We also had a lot of responses through the REM pod, and this was, again, sort of a fascinating thing because it seemed like whatever was there was trying to respond through the REM pod more than it was the spirit box or through EVPs. And it was using the temperature sensor mostly on the REM pod to be able to communicate, answering yes or no questions. In particular, are you a female? Are you a male? It would make that sound, and it would light up whenever Jeff asked if it was a female. It would not light up when it asked if it was a male. So kind of a strange mix of responses here. We did a house blessing here, and interesting enough, the client has said that there has been very little activity since the house blessing took place. So hopefully that will do the job for her. She will rest a little bit easier, and will have no further problems.